Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we will review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every week, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching 10 Things I Hate About You.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Okay. 10 Things I Hate About You came out in 1999 with a runtime of 1 hour and 37 minutes. It can be streamed on Disney+. It was written by Karen McCullough and Kirsten Smith, based on William Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew.
I could never think that this was an adaptation of a Shakespeare play. I just think it's like a normal teenage rom-com movie, you know?
Yeah, in the real play, it doesn't take place in high school, but they adjusted it or adapted it to be that, yeah. It was directed by Gil Junger. The main stars are Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This was a suggestion from my friend Miss B. Thanks for the great movie idea.
Yeah, now we got to watch it because of her.
In 2009, there was a TV show remake of the movie with the same name. Only the dad is the same actor in both iterations.
Wow, they must really liked him as a dad.
I guess because everybody was much older.
Oh, yeah. But, old people kind of look the same at, certain points.
True.
But, teenagers look very different from...
I think this show came out 10 years after. By that time, all the actors will be in their either mid-20s or early 30s kind of thing. So.
Well, I mean, Descendants did it. Why couldn't they do it?
Well, they were still in high school 10 years later?
They did the Descendants movies, over a long period of time. And, you can kind of tell that all the actors are, in their 20s.
Stranger Things has the same thing where one of the characters is, a senior in high school and he's, 30 in real life now.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Nat?
Well, I thought it was an okay movie. It felt very stereotypical, even though it was, supposed to be a Shakespeare movie and all of that. It kind of just went over the same narrative of, oh, there's a main character and she's not like the other girls. She's different. She's special. I didn't really like that in movies because, it happens so much. I watched He's All That, the new She's All That on Netflix, and I thought it was pretty similar.
Okay.
I remember halfway through watching this movie, I predicted, the whole ending.
Yeah, how it was going to end, right?
Yeah. That's why I like Dodgeball so much, because it didn't really fall over the stereotypes, which... If you haven't watched Dodgeball, that's our last episode.
That's true. So what did you give it? What was your rating?
I give it 4 stars because I still really liked it. One thing I really liked about it is how the actors always stayed in character. They were always saying things that were you could tell that that character would say that. It's not like they would randomly say something and be that doesn't sound like something they would say, you know?
Okay, sure. That happens a lot when people in movies say they're one way in the beginning and by the end they act completely different. So.
Yeah. But I liked how the characters were pretty consistent.
Okay.
Why don't we get into the recap?
All right. In the first scene, we see Bianca and 3 friends driving to school listening to pop music. Then Kat, Bianca's sister, drives up next to them in a muscle car listening to rock music.
Oh no, all girls listen to one type of music and she's different. No.
Yeah, they all go to this beautiful high school that looks like a castle. You like that high school?
It looked amazing. It was giving Harry Potter.
Harry Potter vibes, yeah. No, it's true. That was the perfect way to go, oh, this character, Kat, she's rock and roll, right?
She's different.
She's a bad girl, kind of thing, so. In Miss Perky's office, we meet Cameron, a new student. Later, Michael gives Cameron a tour of the school. The tour starts with all the cliques, such as the Beautiful People, Marley fans, Cowboys, and future MBAs. That is where Cameron sees Bianca and falls in love. Love at first sight, your favorite movie trope, right, Natalie?
Not again.
Yeah, they always seem to fall in love immediately, don't they?
Yeah, but she didn't really care about him.
No, she didn't really even notice him, right?
Yeah, so I thought that was better. It wasn't just oh my, look at that girl. And then the girl looks back. She's like, oh my God, who's that guy?
It's true. In Mr. Morgan's English class, we meet Joey, the annoying pretty boy, and Patrick, the troublemaker. In class, Kat makes comments about needing to diversify their literature source and not just dead white males. Mr. Morgan kicks her out for that. He kicked her out a few times throughout the movie, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, though. He just doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's just there for a paycheck. I don't even know how he got into this school.
I know. It's kind of funny. He's funny, though, because he just kind of talks like whatever.
One of his posters, like, he had one of those trims for the wall, like, that go around the poster boards.
Uh-huh.
One of those trims, my Spanish teacher has that same trim.
Okay.
And it's funny because this movie is so old. You would think that no teachers still have those, like, things.
I know. Yeah. Huh? I wonder if that Spanish teacher had it, bought it like 20 years ago when this movie came out. So
maybe.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, this movie came out at it'll be coming on 24 years. So
I was like, I know that.
Joey sees Bianca and says that he will make her his conquest. Cameron, who is smitten with Bianca, needs help to meet her. Michael tells him that she's looking for a French tutor. He doesn't know French, but he says he'll learn.
Honestly, that's a level of dedication.
He's in love, For love, you do anything. He even learns French for her.
Even though this movie was very, like, stereotypical, I liked how Bianca wasn't like, oh, I'm dumb, can you teach me? When she was learning, she would, like, talk to him a lot in French. Like, she wasn't like, oh, I don't understand this next part. No, she was talking.
Well, she was kind of airheadish, right?
But I think it's just how she is.
Yeah, maybe. Kat gets into Sarah Lawrence College and is super excited. But her dad wants her to stay local. Bianca wants to date, but their dad reminds them of rule number 1. No dating until college. Then when Kat brings up how stupid dating is, their dad changes his mind and makes a new rule about dating. Bianca can date when Kat does. Bianca gets angry because she knows it's a lost cause.
I don't think that's a very good rule.
No. Well, you being the younger of the two, would you be upset if Mom and I came up with a rule, you can't date unless Sophia does?
It actually doesn't make sense because, like, I'm a lot younger than Sophia. So if Sophia started dating now, I'd be way too young,
That's true.
So,
well, in the movie, Kat is a senior and Bianca's a sophomore. So she's 2 years. You guys are 3 years apart, but
yeah.
The rule still is college, so don't worry about that. I'll keep the same dad rule.
What do you mean?
And by college, I mean graduate school or during your MBA.
No.
We don't need to talk about this anymore. Let's move forward. Cameron begins to tutor Bianca in French. He asks her out, and she tells him she cannot date unless Kat does. Bianca tells him to find someone for Kat to date, so she can date too. He agrees. Sadly, Cameron doesn't know that her intentions are to date Joey and not him. Kind of used him, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. But it kind of works out in the end because Joey was the one who was paying him the whole time.
Yeah, spoilers. I know.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. But it was their plan. Michael helps Cameron search for guys to date Kat. Unfortunately, it goes poorly. Then Cameron suggests Patrick, who is actively smoking in class as they discuss him. They're like, why don't we ask that guy? And he was having a smoke in class. Anybody smoke at your school?
No.
During class, at least?
You always hear the news and be like, oh, some girl got suspended because she was vaping in the bathroom. But no one actually sees it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone ever used a cigarette. They would use like a Juul or a vape.
Cameron approaches Patrick and is almost impaled by a drill. He starts to drill his book, huh?
I don't know why.
Yeah, just to be a jerk, huh? No need for it.
Yeah.
And he just starts
actually, I take it back. That was pretty out of character for him.
Who?
For Patrick.
No, he's a jerk to everybody.
Well, like, not really.
Yeah, he wasn't very nice to anybody. He would snap at people. He flashed the lunch lady. Oh. He's smoking in class. Like, who does that? That's amazing. The teacher didn't even care. Maybe even the teacher's scared. I don't know.
It's the same teacher as before. Just doesn't care at all about anything.
Probably. The whole school. Even though it's a beautiful school. Nobody cares.
Well, I guess then I take it back times 2. Because like I said, it's still in character.
Yeah. It's just kind of a jerk. I don't know. Cameron and Michael come up with the idea to get Joey to pay Patrick to date Kat. Joey agrees since it will help him go out with Bianca. Joey talks to Patrick and he agrees to date Kat for the money. Patrick makes his move on Kat and she gives him a cold shoulder. She tells him to go away. Later he tries again and he strikes out again. She didn't want anything to do with him either.
Yeah, she just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, she didn't want to date anybody. Michael and Cameron approach Patrick and tell him that the plan was theirs all along. But they want Bianca to date Cameron, not Joey. Michael tells Patrick to take her to Bogey Lowenstein's party. Cameron?
It was so funny when they dramatically threw all the papers down the stairwell.
Oh, yeah, for the invitation for the party.
And everyone was like, oh, wow.
Yes, that was
phones.
Pre-phones.
Pre-Instagram.
Pre-Instagram.
I feel like if there was a party now, someone would just post it on their Instagram and then everyone would like eventually hear about it.
You think there could ever be a party at your school where the whole school goes? Like,
Probably not.
It's not a thing, right?
No.
Cameron asks Bianca questions about Kat so Patrick can use the intel to get her to date him. They go through Kat's room and get valuable information. Michael and Cameron bring all this info to Patrick and tell him she will be at the Club Skunk tomorrow to listen to one of her favorite bands. They go through her room. That was totally inappropriate, right? You'd be upset if Sophia brought somebody up here to your room and started going through your things.
I know. And then afterwards, she's like, no, you can't go into my room. A girl's room is private. Like, what do you mean, sir? You're literally standing in your sister's room with some guy going through her stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny because she's like, this is very important. You get to know the person. He wanted to see her room after they found the black underwear, right? So, like, and they're like, can we see your room? And she's like, no, don't you dare, you know?
That's so mean.
Yeah, it's funny.
When they were going through her room, why was she not in her room? Did they, like, skip school to go there? Because she's, like, a homebody. She would always be in her room. She never goes anywhere out with people.
That's not true, because there's times where she's out shopping for books. There's times where she's at the guitar store.
Oh, yeah. Never
She
mind.
could be out. She has a car, so, you know, she has the freedom to go anywhere.
That's true.
At Club Skunk, Patrick is the only guy there. That, to me, was really weird. How is he the only guy in a club full of a whole bunch of people?
Yeah, it's just silly, because, like, of course there would be a guy there.
Yeah, some brother, some uncle, somebody, you know what I mean?
Friends,
Yeah.
boyfriends.
In essence, you're saying that this band is so feminist that not a guy would listen to it, right? Like, it was a shock to have a guy in there.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyways, he listens to the music and Kat spots him and tells him to leave her alone because she doesn't trust him, right?
Yeah.
She thinks he's just there following her, which he is.
He is. He's being a creepy guy.
No, he's courting her. He's trying to
In a creepy way.
Well, how is he gonna? She already like gave him the cold shoulder. Like maybe he should just stop right there.
Yes, leave.
All right. Difference between dating in the 90s and the 2020s, maybe? I don't know, you know? Because if she's like, oh, let's not go out. I'm like, are you sure? I think you'll like me eventually. You know, that was kind of the process back in the day. Okay, all right. Well, I'm not dating in this generation. I'm married to your mother, so we're all good now. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it's done. But I think he did it fine. Like, he found her interests. Okay, maybe a little shady.
That was so creepy.
And then he showed up to this Club Skunk for her. That was his band.
No.
He impresses her when he starts talking about his favorite bands, aka her favorite bands that he found out from Cameron and Bianca. He asks her to go to Bogey's party, and she doesn't say no. So at that point, she's kind of impressed that you like that band? I like that band too, you know?
There's so much music out there. You'd think everyone knows some band.
Yeah, but he named the 3 bands that were her favorite. She liked it too, and she's like, oh, maybe he's not that bad. He likes my music. It worked. Move forward.
No!
The night of the party, Bianca begs Kat to go to the party, and Kat agrees. Patrick shows up to their house and asks for Kat. Their dad is upset because his plan backfired. He should have just left the rule alone, right? He should have said, nobody dates.
Yeah. I don't know what that happened there. I guess he was just like, ah ha ha, funny joke, ah ha ha ha.
Yeah, it must have been a joke. Because if anything, he's going to put, and this does happen, he's going to put the 2 sisters at odds because Bianca gets mad at Kat for not going out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's part of the story.
No, it's a bad part of the story. I think it's ridiculous. And his whole point was like, oh, you'll never date. But, like, they're more likely to be safe not dating if it's just until college.
Yeah, for him, he thought so for sure, yeah. At the party, Kat tells Bianca to stay away from Joey, and Bianca ignores her. Kat gets angry and starts to drink. She gets so drunk, she gets on the table and starts twerking. She hits her head on the chandelier, and Patrick takes care of her. And she throws up on him.
It was like Mean Girl.
Mean Girls, yeah.
That scene where they like after a big party and then everyone has a lot of alcohol and then the main girl throws up on the guy.
Yeah, just like Mean Girls. Anyway, so Patrick takes her home and then in the car they have a moment. She goes in for a kiss and he says no. She gets super angry at him. Back at the party, Cameron makes his move on Bianca and realizes she's not interested in him. She goes with Joey, leaving Cameron rejected.
In this part of the movie, I thought that Bianca looked a lot like Lindsay Lohan because her hairstyles are kind of similar.
Is that right?
Yeah, I thought so because Lindsay Lohan in one of the movies, was she in Parent Trap?
She was, yeah.
Well, in Parent Trap, she always had the half ponytail, and so I think in this scene Bianca had a half ponytail, and I was like, she looks a lot like Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, I can see it. Eventually, she realizes that Joey is so full of himself and asks Cameron for a ride home. On the ride home, he calls her out for being selfish, and she agrees with him, and then kisses him.
Wow, what a way to solve your problems.
I did he really liked her.
Yeah.
And she really hurt him. And then he was upset about it. And what he could have done is he could have just, all right, leave it alone. I'm not talking to you anymore. Be angry. But he didn't do that. He told her, hey, you really hurt my feelings. You're being selfish. You weren't thinking about that. And I think she realized that she was being selfish and then she kissed him. I don't know. But I did like the fact that he was standing up for himself. So.
Especially since a lot of the times the main characters are oh, please pick me up. And then they're okay, everything's good. Everything's hunky-dory. I'm good now. I got her finally. She likes me back. But it shouldn't be like that, They can't just be oh, I'm done with him. Your turn. And then they'll be okay, it's happy time now.
Right. Although, he did take her back. I mean, she did say she was selfish. She apologized and then they move over. Patrick tries to reconcile with Kat, but she's still cross. So Patrick steals the intercom microphone and sings Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Frankie Valli in front of everyone. He even paid the marching band to play the music for him. So Miss B actually, in her request that she sent, brought up this scene in the movie. And it's actually a classic scene. It's one of those scenes that people remember from this movie. What do you think about that scene?
I thought it was funny. And again, I thought it was really in character the way he was dancing. It wasn't he was actually trying to dance well. He was just being goofy, you know?
Just being goofy and funny, yeah.
And that's exactly what would happen if he was a real character, I think.
Right. I mean, the song, I don't know. You would think that he wouldn't sing a song like this, but I think it was just cute and funny. At first she was what is he doing? And then she was oh, I mean, that was pretty cool, right? That he did it, so. And he's I don't know if he's a good singer, but he was a funny dancer, though.
Yeah.
And then the security guard started chasing him around, and he, he was spanking him on the butt and stuff like that. Yeah. It was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I liked how the band. At first, I was how did the band know? I was this is not right. But then I remembered that he paid one of the guys earlier, and I was okay, it makes sense now.
Yeah, he paid. Yeah, yeah. He bribed one of the guys, and he got them to. I think they were practicing. It's after school practice or something.
I wonder if they used that as their song later. They kept using it.
The band?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you never know, right? Or maybe they already knew that song. Or maybe he gave him the song. Heath Ledger also, he's totally adorable in it. You know what I mean? So I think he's just funny.
He's just prancing around. Yeah. I was a little nervous that he was going to fall off one of the bleachers, though.
Yeah.
Because he was just prancing around. I'm oh my God, watch your foot.
Patrick gets detention for his stunt. Kat helps him sneak out.
And the way he only gets the detention, that's it. Well, I mean, he stole the intercom.
He wasn't in school, though. He wasn't. It was after school. I don't think it was PE. I think it was after school, sports.
Yeah, because she's on the soccer team.
She's on the soccer team and the band's practicing. I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do? Kick him out? I mean, he didn't do anything wrong other than have the intercom. I don't think it actually went through the hallways or something like that. I was shocked that he got detention. So
really?
Yeah, I would think get out of here. I mean, I think he would just run away and not get in trouble.
The police got him.
No, it was just security, the school security. It's the counselors that are coming to get him, not the cops or anything like that.
I thought the school cops,
Nah, I don't think so. Kat helps him sneak out, and the two of them go out and have a great day where they really share things about each other and have a paint balloon fight.
You can't just flash your t-shirt.
I was going to skip that part. I knew you were going to jump it. Let me finish this, and then you tell me that. They eventually kiss. He asks her to prom, and she says no. Anyways, yes, go ahead.
She flashes the teacher, and then she doesn't get any consequences. Right. Yeah. What is going on with this high school?
Yeah. The teacher had a funny reaction. He's he didn't do anything. He just kind of stood there, right? He just froze.
He was stunned. He was too stunned to speak.
Mm-hmm. Cameron asks Bianca to prom, and she says yes. Kat decides to go to prom after she and Bianca have a heart-to-heart. Kat tells Bianca that she dated Joey freshman year, and he dumped her after they had sex. That's why she doesn't do everything everyone else is doing.
It's sad because it's like all the peer pressure, you know?
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the realness. It's not so much people are like, oh, you better do it or you're not cool. It's more like everybody is doing it.
So you feel pressured to do it too.
Yeah, otherwise you don't belong. That's the way a lot of junior high and high school is, right?
And I feel like she should have warned her before. He's kind of puts a lot of pressure on people, you know?
Yeah.
And then we find out later, spoilers, that Joey had like a bet going.
Yeah.
So, like, she could have prevented her from getting hurt in the first place.
Prom night is here, and Cameron picks up Bianca, and Kat leaves to meet Patrick at the prom. Dad is left sad again. Later, Joey comes to get Bianca and has the door shut on him. Patrick and Kat have fun at prom. Patrick even gets her favorite band to play.
I don't know. Did they just have, like, a singer at the prom doing a bunch of songs? Or did they get the singer from the band to come?
No, because there was two singers. There was one lady in the beginning, and they were all having a good time. And then, like, another, like, blonde hair lady came on. And I think that she was the singer from her favorite band. Later that night, Joey confronts Patrick about the money deal, and Kat overhears. Kat leaves furious and hurt. This is where you predicted what was going to happen, right?
Yeah, I said, as soon as he started paying him the first time, I was like, they're going to fall in love. She's going to find out. She's going to be angry. And then he's going to be like, no, wait, I actually loved you.
Yeah. Patrick chases after her to no avail. Then Joey confronts Cameron about the same thing and punches him. Bianca punches Joey and knees him in the gonads. Then Bianca and Cameron kiss. So Bianca was a tough one, right? She stood up to Joey. She hit him 3 times. And then kneed him right in the
She was
privates.
like, this one is for Cameron, this one is for Kat, and this one's for me.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah.
For each one? The next day in class, Kat stands up to read her poem titled 10 Things I Hate About You. It is about Patrick and how she's so angry at him, but really cares about him.
I love how she had the whole time, and you would think that she would have already wrote in her poem. And then, like, on the last day, she writes a poem about what just happened, and then reads that.
Well, I mean, it's a prom, probably a Saturday night, right? Prom. Now's maybe Monday, so she had the whole day on Sunday to do the work.
But she was so excited about this assignment, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to do it in the last 2 days.
She might have rewrote it. You never know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I heard that in the film, she wasn't supposed to cry. Like, the actress wasn't actually supposed to cry.
Uh-huh.
And that it was only one take, that they did it the first time. Like, she did it, she knocked it out, she started crying. It was perfect.
Oh, no, that's the opposite of us.
Yes, we just took 35 takes to do the intro to this to this podcast. We had the giggles. We couldn't control it. We had to do it over 2 days, but we're here now. We're finishing it strong.
We're back, baby.
We're back. Later, Kat goes to her car and sees a guitar she had been dreaming about getting. Patrick tells her it's from the money Joey gave him. They kiss. The end.
The end.
I love this movie. I love Heath Ledger. Honestly, I really thought he was such a great actor. You know, we talked about what happened to him in real life. And sadly, we're not going to get to enjoy any more movies from him. But I think he's totally cool. I liked him in Knight's Tale. I like him in this. And then actually, we're going to watch one of his other movies in about a month. So he's a good actor. So
It's like my book analogy from earlier. When you have a favorite author, then you usually read their other books. So it's kind of like you and your movies. They're all with the same actors all the time.
Yeah, I know, huh? That's a good point. I have to start looking at other movies that have different actors.
Or you just find more movies that you love by looking up the same actors.
Yeah, that's true. They're in all different types of movies, right?
Yeah.
Because this one was a high school movie. The other one was a fantasy movie with, like, jousting.
Yeah.
And the next movie we're going to watch with him is a superhero movie. So, all right. Could this movie still be made today?
I think they did a pretty good job with Kat promoting her feminism in the school, especially with the whole books. They shouldn't only be reading stuff from white males, because, like, that really is how it works a lot of the time. And it's like...
Especially the fact that the movie is based on a play by an old, dead white male, right?
Yeah.
William Shakespeare, yeah.
you see history and a bunch of other things through only one perspective when there's like so many different perspectives you can see it through.
Okay.
But I do think the whole thing where she's not like the other girls and she's quirky and she's different is also kind of stereotyping girls.
Okay.
Saying that they're all the same except for her. She's different, but like all girls are the same.
And they made her unlikable. As I'm writing down adjectives to describe her in the recap, difficult, right? Or angry, or aggressive, and I was thinking, I didn't write those adjectives down for Patrick. And he's the same way. Like, they have that similar kind of attitude where they didn't belong with the norm. They kind of did their own thing, but she gets the negative. Like, he gets the bad boy, which is cool, and she gets like the mean girl, angry girl.
Yeah, and they always talked about like, oh, don't take your PMS out on me.
Yeah, they brought that up a few times, right?
Which is pretty messed up.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I just think that the whole movie is kind of like stereotyping girls. Even though it's like, oh, she's different, she doesn't fit the stereotype, that's still making a stereotype.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I feel like a lot of movies do that where the main character is just different, but then that's like all the other girls are different, saying girls are superficial, all the girls are wearing makeup and bags and all that shopping, when like not all girls are the same. All girls are like quirky in their own ways, you know?
Sure. Does it pass the Bechdel test?
It does.
It does. All right, so Bechdel test is a criteria to see female representation in movies and TV shows. There are 3 questions. We'll start with the first one. Are there more than 2 named female characters?
Yeah, there's Kat and there's Bianca. And Kat does have like a friend that had a name. And then there's the principal of the school. And Chastity is Bianca's best friend, who is actually a snake. I hated her role.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, they did have a lot of women in the movie.
They did. All right. Question number 2. Do any of them talk to each other?
Yeah. Obviously, they talk to their friends and then their siblings, so they talk to each other.
The last one is, do they talk to each other about anything other than a man or a boy?
They did once. I actually didn't get very many other ones because, like, a lot of conversations had to do with the love interest since it is a love movie. Mm-hmm. But this plot point was completely forgotten about. But Kat and Bianca talk about their mom's pearls because Bianca is wearing a pearl necklace, and Kat is like, "Where'd you get that from?" And Bianca says, "Oh, it's from Mom." And Kat's like, "You just stole it from her." And then Bianca said, "She's never coming back, you know?"
Yeah, so it seems like 3 years ago, from the point of this movie, their mom just walked out on them. Just left their dad with the girls and then just took off. And we don't know what happens to her.
I think that plot point only had to do with their dad being so protective.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
being
that makes
like,
sense.
I don't want to lose them too. But yeah, that whole plot point I thought was kind of random.
All right, so it does pass the Bechdel test. There was also a scene where Bianca and Chastity are talking in the beginning of the movie, and that's when Cameron notices her. And they're just talking about weird, like, I love my Vans, but I don't like my Gucci.
She says, there's a difference between like and love. I like my Skechers, but I love my Prada.
So there's another conversation right there. Miss Perky talks, and she's inappropriate, terribly inappropriate, right?
I know.
Miss Perky talks to Kat about, stop getting into trouble. So there's that scene too.
Yeah, but then they talk about their book and they talk about, what was his name? It was a random name, but they were like, what's an adjective to describe him? And then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a part of the conversation. So that's why I didn't say that one.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I thought that this movie in general was like outdated. So first of all, that scene we talked about, the Skechers and the Prada. No one's cool if they wear Skechers anymore.
Skechers are cool. What are you talking about?
No.
You had Skechers when you were in elementary school.
Yeah, that's elementary school coolness.
Yeah, I even misspoke and said Vans earlier because that's what you have to wear in junior high and high school now, right? Vans.
Uh-huh.
Vans for days. And then, I don't know about the Prada backpack. I don't know.
That Prada is now the rich people brand.
Rich people brand. Okay. Well, I think they were all rich people. Look at that castle that they were going to school in.
I know. It was probably a private school.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. cat's computer. It had like Apple symbol and it was like rainbow. And I was like, I've never seen like an Apple logo. And I've never seen a computer like that too.
You know, it's funny because, you know, most of the time you see movies that they hide the Apple logo on the phone or the app, you know.
Or like in iCarly, it's a pear.
It's a pear, yeah, things like that. So.
Also, the one thing that made me so happy is that they had gym clothes.
They had gym clothes?
Yeah.
Because in most movies they don't have gym clothes?
No, they're just prancing around in their dresses during PE.
Okay.
But they had gym clothes.
There you go. Just like they make you wear gym clothes at junior high. Huh?
Yay.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app.
We put out an episode every Monday. If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestion.
And remember, it has to be PG-13.
Next week, we're watching Titanic, so I hope you join us.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye!